Have you ever found yourself playing Jett, walking up to the choke with your team, dashing in, and instantly dying? You're not alone. Most Jett players think they're entering, but they're actually just feeding. In this video, I'm going to show you how to path like an Immortal Jett on every single map, so you can create space, survive longer, and actually win rounds. Let's go. So we are going to start off with a couple of quick tips for any entry on every single map. Never mind just this one. This is just consistent across the board, right? So first tip I have for you is if you are dashing out, make sure you jump because you will actually go further. So just jump before you dash. No real reason behind it. Just the way the game works. Other than that, I want you to never really exit a choke unless you have smokes down, or hopefully you have some kind of initiator on your team. Sometimes, again, in ranked, you're not going to get one. It's just the way it is. If you have any kind of flash at all, just ask for the flash. You know, maybe it's a rain of flash at worst. These entry paths will help you even when you don't get that utility. And the last thing really is no matter where you're playing on any map, if the enemy have a cypher, just updraft. Just commit the updraft before you entry. It's worth it. You're not going to get hit by the trip. Even if your teammates get hit by the trip, you've broken the space, so it's still worth it. But yeah, that's the main tips on every map, right? Other than that, we have Ascent here, right? So starting off the round, especially if you're going for a rush, you can either jump on top of the box, which sometimes you can mess up, or you can just glide because you're playing Jett, right? You can jump out there with a guy here. Other than that, sometimes you might have to commit a smoke here just to get out like this. Next thing, you're going to be coming up here, right? You're going to do your jump spots. You're going to do whatever. You're waiting for your smokes to drop. Now, what do we do? We have a couple of different entry paths here. One entry path is going to be over towards here. The other one is going to be on top of Jen, right? So we're going to talk about this one first. So this one, what I like to do is just throw a smoke and dash into it, right? Simple, straightforward. It's just about where you come out, right? Always make sure you're checking an angle when you're dashing out, right? Sometimes if you're really fast, you can check 2 angles at once. All you're doing there is you're not actually looking. You're looking at the mini-map. So my eyes will just, if you look at my eyes right now, it's kind of hard to see because I don't have an eye tracker. But you can just stare at the mini-map and you don't actually have to see the guy, but the mini-map will see him for you. So a lot of the times there will be an enemy Sova. If you're in really high elo, this will happen quite often. There will be an enemy Sova playing up here and he will dart somewhere around here. You cannot beat this dart. So what do you have to do? You got to smoke the ground again, right? That is going to be your big tip, okay? Whenever you are entering out anywhere, if you ever feel like this is not good or there's too much util going on, just smoke the ground again. Over here, like this, I smoke the ground again, clear this, like this, and I'll swing out of this smoke, right? You can see there's not too many places where the enemy can be. The enemy could be right here, and right here. But they're usually not here. This is a very rare spot for the enemy to go. So I do like this one. Other than that, we can, you know, updraft on top of this. And the thing, right, is it looks a lot harder than it is because you're like, oh, this guy could shoot me and this guy could shoot me, right? But if this guy, even if he's standing against the back wall, right, let's say this little bunny rabbit is the back wall, right, you can see when you dash on top of this, he can't see you, right? He's still down there. So you're kind of safe from that guy. So your main places that you have to be scared of is these two and him peeking out, right? If he peeks out, that's when it gets a bit scarier. So you jump up, you clear this real quick, and then you start looking for this guy, right? You have to be pretty quick with this one, so make sure you can actually flick around like this. But this is great entry spot because this guy is worried about everywhere, right? He's looking up here, he's looking down here, he doesn't know what to do, you know what I mean? Very good entry path on top of this generator. And the next best part about this spot is even if your teammate kills a guy over here, right? You can just jump up into heaven, into your own smokes, and you can peek out like this, and you can get a really aggressive position for a post plant. So I love going top gen. It's really strong, and you can also just dip back out, right? You can do this, right? You're going even just for a little peek like this, jump back out, now you're back on gen, right? It's really good spot for it. So B site is going to be quite fun, to be honest. B site has got quite a lot of things you can do, but you're also going to have to kind of play mind games with the enemy sentinel. Especially if they're playing Cypher, it can be quite frustrating to play against them. Killjoy, you can kind of play around it. It doesn't matter too much. The only thing they can do, really, is Molly, where you're going to dash here. Right, so how are we going to start this round? The way I like to start these rounds is I want an Omen flashing from here. And he's going to flash this whole area like this. It's going to be really easy. You don't actually have to worry then. After that flash goes out, you can just take this space, right? It's pretty free. All you're going to have to do is do a little jump peek like this. And now we have our options, right? What are our options? So our options is dashing here and closing the door. Really good option. This is going to be your bog standard way of entering on this site, right? You're going to smoke that thing. You're going to check one of the angles. And you're going to close the door, right? Just be aware there could be a little rat sitting here. So it's kind of hard to check both of these. So I usually check logs and then try and clear this guy and close the door instead of trying to check both. It's really, really difficult to do that insta 180. So that's going to be our main bog standard way, right? You come over then like this. As the door is closing, you're usually still in your smoke, but sometimes you can get a kill while the door is closing down, so don't be worrying too much. And then we have to try and clear this area here, right? This stairs area. This is where people like to play. Other than that, we have our other option here, which I really like, is because sometimes when you're trying to dash towards this switch, you can actually die to the guy peeking you here, right? Because you have to peek him in order to go there. So sometimes I like doing this instead, and I'll go like this, right? And I'll try and swing him like this. This can catch a lot of people off guard, especially if killjoys are placing one molly for you on this switch. It can be really nice to change it up like this, and then you get in a nice post-plant spot here, where you can stop the flood, right? So you basically ignore sight when you do this, right? Sometimes you're gonna have people complain, being like, Jett, where are you? What are you doing? I honestly wouldn't care about that. I see a lot of pro players doing this very consistently. If they have 3-4 players running out lane and they can't clear the site after you've already entered and cleared this area, it's on them, bro. You know what I mean? It's not really on you. You are set up in a really nice post-plant spot here, or you can actually peek straight into CT, kind of like the other place on A site. And you can try and get a cheeky kill on people trying to come up to the smoke, right? Usually this is smoked, something like this, and you can try and get a cheeky kill and run away. The next one I really do like on pistol rounds. I think it can catch a lot of people off guard. You buy a frenzy, smoke updraft, and you go straight towards site. You can also work with a classic, right? You just send it straight away. You got to be aware that they could be here, so just be aware of that. And they can also be backside. But if there's anything you don't like, you can smoke the ground afterwards, and then you can try and clear it properly, right? But you can catch a lot of people off guard here. The stairs player will end up, like, after you updraft dash, he'll be like, where is this guy? And you'll already be on the ground, and then you just kill him. Other thing that's weird about this map, by the way, is you can actually do like a super dash off this if you do it right. Weird thing with this map. So you can jump up like that, and you aim like diagonally, and you'll do a weird super dash. You can send yourself, it works on both sides as well. Really nice on some retakes. Right? You can just do weird super dash. So if you didn't know that, now you know that. But we'll move on. So for C site, you're gonna jump spot here. Check out for any ops. Then you can scale up to this place here. Jump out. You can do another jump spot here while you're waiting for your smokes to go down. Try and get any initiator util down. Now you're at this spot, right? Now you have a couple of options. So you can dash out like this. Simple, straightforward. And you can end up in this place right here. You can try and fight your way out here. Easy, simple. Your other one is straight on top of backside. This is going to be really good, especially if you have a Sova Dart to clear out any of these areas here, right? This angle's annoying, this angle's annoying, sometimes this one can be annoying. As you can tell, when you land here, people are going to be all over the place, so really good with the Sova Dart or any kind of initiator util. And the last one would be a little bit of a weird one, where you just updraft onto this box. You can catch people out really hard with this one. Can be nice as a little switch up, but it wouldn't be one of your main ones. Those two would kind of be your main ones, and it'll set you up for a nice post plant. In one of these areas, place I kind of like playing post plant here would be on top of this box like this. Really like this. Really nice area to play. So for B site, I like to start the round here, unless I have a flash. I don't really like peeking window too much. This place seems more consistent for me. Now, if the enemy are pushing garage a lot, I like to one-way this. If they're not pushing garage a lot, I don't care. I'm just going to do this, right? Only thing you have to worry about here is a lot of times some Reynas will just like walk out like this, right? If you spot that and they insta-headshot you, unlucky, GG. But if not, then you can try and smoke the ground and try and survive, right? If you spot her, whatever, right? But a lot of the times, you're just going to make your way over here, right? Again, I really like B for ecos and pistol rounds, mainly. So what I'll usually do is I'll jump spot when I get here, and then I'll run and jump up here. What I'll do a lot of the times is I'll whip my gun out here, just in case there's anyone trying to peek over here. And now we're in this spot, right? Once you get to this spot, you got a couple of options, right? This is kind of your standard one, right? You're going to clear one of the corners, like this. And you're just going to dash into your smoke, right? A lot of the times, you can actually give Jett the bomb here, and you can instantly plant the bomb. One I really like, especially if you are on that eco, let's say maybe you got a stinger or something, is just dashing over towards here and getting your omen to tell your omen pre-round to smoke here, like this. And you can just hold A connector straight away, right? any of those rotators, even if he doesn't do that, if you get an insta-kill here or there's nobody even here, because a lot of times B site, there's not going to be anybody here, okay? Especially if you're in high elo, they'll just leave like a cypher trip here or something, right? So what you can do then is you can, maybe you dash in and then you just run straight over towards here and try and get any picks on anyone who's trying to rotate. You know, a lot of times they'll even have their knife out here. So just be aware of that. Really nice place to get some eco frags over there. Other than that, if you do actually have a rifle or something long range, if you're up here, this is a really nice spot, right? You can do this. Especially good if you do this after you entry in like this. Let's say you go around here. Maybe you catch that guy there and then you updraft up here like this. Really nice spot, especially for that post plant when the smokes go down. And that's pretty much going to be B site. There's nothing else really to it. Push A connector, take up here, dash out here, plant the bomb. Hope for the best. This site is going to be quite hard to actually keep. Try and get your sentinel to lurk through garage late. It's going to be nice. It's going to help you out for any of those post-plant situations. And yeah, let's move on. A site, we're going to start the round. If we don't have a cypher, I like to smoke this and then just run through like this. Only thing you have to be aware of is there could be a guy ratting over here. And there could be a guy baiting for him. So just be aware of that. If you got a Sova there, it's kind of worth it to commit it somewhere around here. Hit this long angle, so don't worry too much about wasting it. Right, don't want to get caught out by this guy, so I like to smoke here. Now you can swing out with the smoke whatever way you want, right? You can play the safe way, we go here. I personally prefer long unless I have a shotgun or a real reason that I want to go short. Let's say my killjoy has ult. So I don't really care too much about short, right? Short is simple enough. You usually just like updraft or you just dash out, right? Simple enough. I don't really want to talk too in-depth about short, so we'll go back to long here, right? Because long, this is one of my favorite entry paths. It's going to be these two, right? These are going to be pretty much your main ones here, right? You can just updraft on this box with your dash procced. If you ever get caught out here, if there's anyone, you can just dash away, right? And pray. Just let's pray, right? Other than that, like I like to smoke it sometimes if I want to stay alive longer. Enemy might start trying to spam you. Then you can just do whatever, right? Your teammates can help you out whilst they're running out of the choke. This box, just good in general, right? Other than that, I like to smoke around here. Like this. And try and make my way back site like this. Can be really annoying, right? Because you can run out of the smoke a couple of different ways. Can be hard for the enemy to deal with, so that's going to be your very consistent one. This one's going to be your more dangerous one, but also quite a lot of value out of it. So again, that's just dash like this. Just kind of smoke around. Sometimes you can even just wait for the smoke to drop instead of running out the smoke. Catch them off guard, right? Anything like that. And if you do still have your updraft, you can always updraft up into here and try and go for an extra kill. If there's nobody up here, it's going to be really good. Sometimes there's already going to be a guy up here, and it's going to be quite frustrating if you die, but that's going to be A site. Icebox is going to be the most complicated place to enter here because the site, you honestly don't even need a dash half the time, so because of the way the ropes are, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The number one rule for Icebox A site is don't go lower, because this is just not worth it when you have so many options to be up in the air, right? So what you can do is, I dubbed this one the 10 speak in the other video I made recently on Jing, right? You can start the round like this, and it's very risky, but very high reward, especially if anyone's trying to grab like the orb. If the enemy Jett is 1 point off of our ult, that's going to be a very strong place to just jump out of. Other than that, you can just, you know, slice the pie with your angles here and try and get up close. Once you get to this spot, then you can actually go, right? A lot of the entry paths you're going to see, they're going to end up with the same thing, right? It's going to be you jumping on top of this. There's going to usually be a Viper wall here, especially if you're in higher elo. There's going to be a Viper wall here, and I like to just sit here after this. I don't really go any further than this. What I will do is I'll sit here like this. I'll wait for a guy, right? Sometimes you can catch the guy coming out here. Sometimes you can catch him coming out here, right? This spot is going to be your best friend on this map. You just kind of chill on top of 410, right? If you have knives, you can jump like this and go crazy, right? You can jump back, as you can see. Going to be very nice. There's going to be so many different options on this map, so I cannot go over all of them. I really can't. There's not enough time. We already have every single map in the game, but there's just constantly so many different things you can do here, right? You can jump out. I like this one as well as another entry path, just jumping straight out like this. Maybe I peek like this. Then I jump over here, right? Check if there's any ops. Dash over here. Again, back to this spot. This is going to be my favorite spot here, right? Sometimes if you already get a kill, you can dash over this way. This is going to be risky, but high reward, right? Sometimes there could just be a guy just chilling back here, and he just shoots you in the face, right? But if you kill the guy back here, sometimes you can catch someone else who's trying to peek over here, right? If you don't see anyone, you can do something like this and you can start pushing, right? So many options. Get creative on this map. I cannot overstress this enough. B site is a little bit different, but get creative on A site. There's so much you can do with these ropes and everything, all the verticality. Just have fun with it. Go crazy. There's so many good options on this map. So they're some of my favorites. Just get creative. So B site, I really like to start the round off in this area here, okay? If the enemy is upping quite a lot, I like to smoke this, updraft like this, and then peek out like this, okay? I have my dash primed already. If he's already aiming at me, I can try and quickly dash. Sometimes you will die, so if I have a Reyna on my team, which a lot of people like Reyna on this map, I will ask for a flash, okay? But I do like to start the round like this and just start off straight away, okay? Sometimes you will catch someone trying to get behind this box. I've had that happen often enough to the point where I can actually mention it, right? But now you're in this spot, right? Especially if you already got your dash primed, you got to be quick enough, okay? You're going around clearing some of these areas, and I like to dash straight on top of this and try and clear this area, okay? A lot of the time, they won't be in Snowman yet, but you got to be aware of people who are already here, okay? You will have a Viper wall 9 times out of 10, or you'll have some kind of smokes, but I like to quickly check this, and then I'm flicking over here, right? Now I'm checking for any of these areas here, right? And you can also, if it's looking safe enough, you can check behind here then, right? I like standing on top of yellow. What I will do then, if maybe we get a kill or two and no one really knows I'm up here, I will stand here like this, I'll take a pop shot, and I'll just drop behind yellow, okay? After that, you can literally make your way out then. If you still have an extra smoke, it's going to be pretty nice for you. But that is my favorite way to entry onto this site, okay? So if you didn't spend your updraft at the very start, you can jump on top of the box with just some jump spots, right? You can updraft over here like this. This is a bit riskier. And then you can dash over here, right? And now you can get really deep into kitchen really fast, okay? That's going to be another good one, especially if you already got the kill. That's going to be one of my favorite ones. Just be aware there could be a guy here already. People rotate to this position here really fast. I want to give a small shout out to mid on Icebox here as well. You can start the round on top of this thing, and you can nearly stay here the whole round, right? So what I like to do is hug this corner and take a peek on top of this guy, right? Then I try and check for anything. If the enemy have a sage, a lot of times you're going to end up taking a fight with her here. So you can do that, and you can just instantly swing here a lot of the time, right? As you can see, you're fully covered from everywhere, like from this angle. So you're kind of chilling. A lot of the times it's going to be a killjoy just randomly here, okay? So you could just instantly kill their killjoy and then just keep going, right? You can just go this way, or you can start pushing towards this area here, towards kitchen. It's a nice little change up, okay? If entering like straight up isn't working, give this a try, because this is going to be pretty effective. Also, cool little bug here, by the way. You can dash off the thing here, so that's gonna be pretty fun. It used to be good when you used to have 2 updrafts, but I don't know. It's just a fun thing, so do with that what you may, right? You can have some fun with that. Anyway, let's move on. So Lotus, we're gonna start on C site here. The main way to take main is going to be either a cheeky little jump spot here, right? If the enemy's playing chamber, you might actually even want to do this, where you smoke the ground. And as you can see, if you smoke the ground, you can come out either left or right. So he has to guess which side you're on. It's going to make it a little bit easier, especially if there is like chamber opping, Jett opping, any of that kind of stuff. Other thing you can do is just updraft with like a flash, and you'll take this main area, right? If you have people swinging from below, it's actually quite easy to trade. He has to flick up to you, so it's not too bad. That's the main ways to take main anyway. That's pretty much all you got to do. And now you're over here, right? Best ways to enter this site is pretty simple, to be honest with you. You're either going to do this, where you dash down, or you're going to do this, where you dash up, right? Completely up to you. You don't even need the smoke for this if you don't want to, right? You can just updraft dash on top of this, and then go and take this fight. And then at this point, you don't even have to leave this box, right? You can see everything from this box. Pretty solid. So updraft is obviously going to be pretty good. Just make sure you're clearing this whenever you're entering. Right? Just like that. Pretty standard. Pretty simple sight. Other than that, if you get the kill, you can either stay on that box if you went up there, or you can start pushing towards one of the sides here. Either here or here. And that's pretty much C. So we're going to talk about B now. B is pretty similar to Haven B, where I like to either full contact up here if we're on a rifle round, or I will play this as like an eco with a stinger, maybe a judge, right? Any of those kind of things, right? You can contact your way up, and then you get to about here, right? If you already got the kill, you're already sending it, right? And the thing about here is There is 3 places, and most of the meta smokes on this map are not brimstone. So, right, so we have to pretty much, the main ways you're going to do this is probably smoking these 2. That's the most common, I would say. But you're going to want to take one of these areas, right? You have to, otherwise you kind of get rolled in this site. Just the main way it goes with 3 entrances. So, what do? Right? So, if we want to just do a standard entry, we can dash out like this, right? Just be aware, could be a guy here. So again, you're probably going to want to dash like that, check that, and then you can push into this smoke here, like this. Right? Not bad. And then maybe you can push further, up to you. Other way you can do it is just a simple dash out like this, underneath. And then you can either jump up here and start pushing in here, right? And you can either hold in here, you can look for a kill, or you can push further, up to you. Or from this position where you just were, you can take in here, right? What you can do is you can do like a one-way, kind of like this, right? You can just send the smoke over there, try and catch that guy. You can one-way this door as well. Anything like this is going to be pretty good, and you're pretty much set up in post-plan already. A main is going to be the one where everyone fights over this location. If the enemy are fighting for this location, you are going to have to commit your dash to going over here, okay? If they're not heavy fighting, like there's nobody actually coming up super aggressively, you can just smoke the cross like this. Now you can do it a little bit better than this, right? You can get pretty much the whole thing, as you can see. But you just smoke the cross and you can just run across, right? Other thing you can do to take this main area is going to be just dash updraft like this. Really good if you have like a breach flash coming in from here, right? Let's say breach flash is there, dash up here, and then you can fight people from here, right? Only place they won't really get flashed from is like if they're playing behind this, right? So you want to try and land as close to the pillar as possible, and then you have main, right? After that, you know, you can clear your way up. Maybe you have some util here, you can spam this box, make sure there's no one hiding. And then you have the choice whether you want to go through main or you want to go through tree. This will usually get smoked, right? So a lot of the times I will come up like this and I will just start spamming this a little bit. And then I can try and either creep my way out or I can smoke the ground like this through their smoke, right? So their smoke will be here. I'll smoke like this. I'll creep my way out like this. And now I'm out, right? This is usually going to be smoked from your smokes. Okay. So that will be like that. You can either then start creeping your way up. Usually, if you had to waste your dash, unfortunately, but it's not that bad on this point. Because your smokes are kind of all you need, right? See what I mean? You don't really need the dash on this site, which is good because that means we can use it early, right? We don't have to fear too much. And that's pretty much how I would attack from this side. Now, if I'm going from tree, I need a lot of my team, right? Tree is like, hey guys, we're going pretty fast, right? So I usually spam this, pre-fire this, check it all, make sure there's nobody here. At this point now, I'm here. You can smoke like this, dash out, and then you can start walking, or you can just start holding like this. And then you could creep away around the other side after you dash out this way. Maybe you start going around this way. Start trying to clear this backside area, and then boom, you are chilling. You can then either take a drop, or you can go up the rope and go for an extra one, depending on how fast you have went. You can catch a lot of rotators here. And then you can just make your way back. And then you can play either tree, or you can play over here, or you can even play directly under heaven for that post plant. And that's going to be Lotus. So A site on Pearl, what we're going to do is if we have a Fade is going to want to dog this area here, make this really easy to clear out. If you don't have an initiator, this area can be a lot, it will end your entry before it even happens because of players here. So we want to take our time here if we don't have any util and try and clear out this main area here. It's going to be quite frustrating, especially if the enemy have chamber or something who can just escape for no reason because Riot Games. So just be aware of this one, right? But once you finally actually make it to the choke, your life becomes a little bit easier, okay? Especially if you're playing on pistol round, I really recommend just playing a frenzy with smoke updraft and just murdering any sentinel who's playing here. It's so annoying to play against when you're playing the sentinel, so just do that if you're playing pistol round or anything. So main thing you can do here is you can just dash on top of this thing, right? This thing is going to be really easy to dash on. You don't even need an updraft, as you can see. So all you do is you dash and crouch while you're in midair. So just hold your crouch button. You'll make this dash pretty much every single time, unless you wait too long, like to go down the stairs. If you go down too far, obviously you won't make it. So just be aware of this. This is going to be one of your best entry paths here, right? You just absolutely obliterate anyone. So you try and clear out the back site, and then you got to be aware of this area here, because a lot of people will play here and try and just shoot you in the face. Other than that, if they don't have any trips or anything, you can just dash bottom, right? And bottom is very safe because the guys from out can't spam you, and the guy here has to peek you, and if he's peeking you, your teammates have a lot better chance to kill him, right? Very, very safe spot here. Other than that, we can go here. I actually like this one sometimes, right? We can dash over here, and if you have a fade eye or some kind of recon ability, you can just spam through this wall the whole way, right? So you can see the wall starts about here, and you can just spam through here. Especially if you have a phantom or something, I've gotten so many kills through this wall. It is annoying when you get spammed through this wall as the defender, but that is pretty much going to be your two ways of playing here. After you actually get in, I like to push one of these, try and get an extra kill. Don't have to peek the whole way, even if you just play over here. And then smoke the ground, try and get out. Pretty good, pretty nice. That's going to be your main entries on this site. B site can get a little bit awkward when the enemies start getting ops online. And if you don't have an Astra to do this smoke here, it's going to be even more annoying, right? So what do you do, right? Most of the time, I'd say 9 times out of 10, I give this a little jump spot, right? Again, with the jump spot, just look at your minimap, see if you spot anyone. If not, let's go, all good. If you do, then maybe wait a second or smoke the ground and then try and take the fight in any way you want, right? You also have to be aware of these areas here. People will play here and they will murder you before your entry even happens again, right? So try and clear out these areas in whatever way you need to, and then usually you'll get here and there will be some kind of smoke here, right? It's gonna be omen smoke, whatever it is, right? So the main thing you got to be aware of is someone behind here, someone up here, someone back here, or peeking here, right? They are all your dangers, okay? So we have a couple of options, right? We can go straight over here, you check that, and you can try and take this fight back here, okay? This can be risky if you have no utility with you, because they added this corner way back when, and now it's just way harder to take this area because of this one corner, because they could be there. That's the main thing, right? So again, you can do it like this, you can spam around here, and you can try and clear back site, right? That's going to be a pretty standard entry. One of my favorite ways to actually take this site is going to be getting up to the smoke like this. If you have any recon ability or anything to clear this area, this gets so much easier, right? But you just updraft on top of this, right? And you try and fight someone here, and you just hold your dash the whole time, right? You just hold your dash, hold your dash, hold your dash, wait till you actually need it, and then you can go back here, right? That's going to be one of my favorite ways to do this. Really simple, but really straightforward. And then you also have the fuck you team, I don't care about you, right? It's gonna be up here, right? You just go straight into their spawn from here, or you just take a fight like on this guy, okay? That's going to be a nice one if you actually get a kill. Let's say you're scaling down and maybe you kill a guy here or you kill a guy backside. Sometimes you can just updraft here and just go crazy, right? I would check this every time before you dash into the smoke heaven, just in case there's a guy already here. Other than that, you can just kind of go. And you can go get a pick on spawn before the bomb's even planted. That's, if you can tell, by the way, that's going to be the key in a lot of these, is if you get into one of these aggressive positions and the bomb's not even down yet, you can get easy kills on people trying to rotate over. So that's going to be B site. Again, this one is a little bit weird, a little bit strange. There's not too much going on, but there is at the same time. So I don't know. That's B site. Split A site. It's going to be one of my favorite places to actually attack on this map, because this map is bad, right? It's not that bad, but it can be really frustrating when you don't have a team who want to work with you, right? So you're going to start the round here, and a lot of the times you're going to try and see if you pick this guy, right? If you have if you have a breach or an omen who's actually going to flash for you or do anything for you, this is going to be 10 times easier, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to smoke dash up here with a breach stun, and you're going to have to be aware of this angle here, right? The only place a breach stun cannot hit is if they play here or if they play tight here. It depends where your breach places the stun, okay? But the enemy won't really make it here first. But what I like to do after I dash up here is jump out like this and check this area, okay? That's how fast I'm going. If I'm like full sure they're going to be breach stunned, I won't even jump up there. I'll just keep going like this. And then you get into this spot here, right? At this point, you have the annoying angle, so what you can do is smoke the ground and just try and run in through and try and catch anyone who's trying to rotate from mid. If you're fast enough, you will catch him before he's even up the rope, or as he's on the rope, okay? Which means you're kind of chilling. After you kill that guy, you gotta be aware of CT, okay? CT is then your next danger. Someone could already be here, so jump on top of this box, check this, and now we're chilling, okay? As you can tell, a lot of times, depends what way you want to attack split. you can take up here, or you can go straight sight, right? If we're going straight sight, simple, straightforward, dash the flowers, smoke the round again, go out like this, try and take it that way. I don't really recommend going straight towards sight as Jett. It's just awkward, right? What are you gonna do? This, it's not as good as like even a raise satchel, right? A raise satchel, I like to go over here. This is just, I don't know, it's not as good for Jett. I would recommend going flower, but this is also an option, so don't forget it. Don't let it, like, you know, if this flower one isn't working, you can go straight here, okay? Or you can go straight forward and just say, I don't care, right? You can go straight over here, like this, and just start attacking elbow from behind, right? Give elbow back shots, that's what we like. Boom, bang, A-site. It's simple enough, you got a couple of ways to do it, but just keep all these options in your mind. Also, the other way again is like the super aggressive play, which is just dashing straight into heaven like this. Not a bad option either. I like this again. If you get a kill first, you can go straight into heaven and you can start running into their spawn before they even know what's happening, right? So B-site, there's not as many options. What I like to do for B-site especially is just go full contact. So I'll start the round like this with a player playing behind me here, playing a high-low. Let's say this is my second player. We're just starting at a high-low because that's where the barrier is. So, and then you can shift your way up to the choke. Just be aware, Cypher is very, very popular on this map. Cypher, he's annoying because the roof is very low here. So sometimes you can still get hit by a trip, even when you updraft. So what I like to do is something like this, where I'll try and updraft dash, like this. Try and take this angle here. Sometimes you can actually go straight onto the box, especially if you have some kind of recon, but recon is less popular on this map. But maybe you have a little Teo drone or something. And you can try and take the site like this. So then you can jump back here like this. Not too bad. Other than that, we can kind of go around the other way. So let's say we do something like this. Right, as you can tell, if Cypher's here, even that's awkward because you're exposed to heaven for a little bit. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? It's not gonna be the worst thing, right? We can go out like this. We can start clearing back over here. Just make sure you're aware someone could run out at rafters. And now we've got like a nice little split on the site instead of just going straight on, right? So you can shoot someone in the back sometimes with this. That's pretty much B. There's not too many options here. Really, really tough site to attack here sometimes. Depends how the enemy play it. They're kind of our best options. Right, so for sunset, you're going to run straight away and just give a jump spot, right? Just try and check if anyone is trying to cross or trying to play close. Just be aware, I'm not exactly sure if they can instantly see you, so just be aware that there could be a guy crossed, alright? So you're going to walk up, you're going to clear your corners, you know, you're going to take main, alright? Gonna use whatever util you need to take main. Now you get into this spot, right? Sunset is going to be the most popular Cypher map in the entire game, so that's going to be annoying for us. So if we have any util at all to break trips, we're going to be smiling with joy, okay? If we don't, it's going to be a little bit more awkward for us. But this site, ever since they changed it, this is kind of the best place to entry, right? You just kind of go in this corner and you just try and fight your way out, right? You got another smoke to help you out. Try and either take one of these sides, okay? You can take there, or you can try and push this way, right? What I like doing is placing a smoke here and just spamming this corner fully, as you can see. If he's hiding in this corner, he's dead in a couple of bullets, and then we can start checking backside. That's kind of my favorite way to clear that corner, is just with that. So Phantom is also going to be good there. Other place to entry is just going to be here. Again, if Cypher is here, updraft before you do this. So I'll smoke dash here, and then I'll do the same kind of thing, right? Now we're in the same spot. So they're kind of your main ways. Other than that, you can, if smokes are already down for you, you can updraft out like this over the trip and try and fight from here. And then you can use your dash in whatever way. Maybe you can move over here. You can do whatever, right? That's going to be your main ways to actually get out of the choke here. And then once you, if you do actually take back here, you can push further. But this peak, I feel like it's quite expected. When the enemy walk in, they're going to clear this, right? But it can still work, right? If you're up here quick enough, anything can work. Other than that, sometimes you can just dash into the smoke over here. Right? Like, let's say there's a smoke here. Just be aware of this spot. People like to play here. Really strong angle here, because you can't really wallbang it, as you can see. So you can dash straight into your smoke towards market and start going into market instead. And you can let your team kind of deal with sight. Not bad if it works, right? Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't work. So just be aware, this bomb site is quite difficult to actually take, but with enough util and with enough coordination, you got it. Let's go. So A site can be another one that is quite difficult to actually take because this main area is going to be a hotspot for a lot of teams. They're going to like breach stun from here. They're going to do this, that, and the other. They're going to omen flash from there. They're going to have a lot of util, so it can be frustrating, but in ranked, sometimes it can work. If the enemy aren't very coordinated, it can be quite easy to take. So let's start off, right? We're going to have some kind of util in this window, most likely. Cypher cam or whatever, right? And we're going to try and take this area, right? We can either full contact this, or we can just start sending it, right? It's up to your team and how they like to play. So you've got two options, right? You can come from elbow or you can come from main. How are we going to do either of these, right? So I kind of like to go elbow quite a lot. I think it's a little bit easier for me. Right, so we come in, you know, we check our things, right? We clear our stuff. And a lot of times you are going to end up taking a fight in here, right? So what you can do is you can maybe smoke off this area like this, and then you can start doing this, right? That's going to help you isolate those angles. That's what your smoke's for, right? And then you finally get to this spot here, right? Once we get here, we have a couple of options, right? You can updraft dash on top of the Jenny into your smoke, right? Not a bad option. Just don't hit the roof, as you can see. Pretty good option though, as you can see, right? Because all you gotta worry about is maybe here, but you've already kind of seen that. And you gotta worry about this, right? This thing is going to be the bane of your existence. If you have any util to clear this out, it's gonna be a lot easier. Maybe your breach like bombs it or something. Or a raise nade, just anything. This angle is so frustrating to deal with, right? Other than that, like other than this one, you can kind of go for something like this, right? You can jump out on top of the guy and just try and jump and gun him. Literally, like if you have a shorty, it's gonna be pretty easy, right? You just updraft dash on top of his head with a shorty out, and you just shoot him in the face, right? Anything at all, if you, like, this can work quite well, especially if you have people coming from every angle, right? And you're above the guy. It's gonna be quite a lot easier to deal with this. So keep that in mind, right? That's gonna be your main ways from elbow. Other than that, if you guys already got the kill, you can just run straight into CT and just say, alright, let's go. Main ways from here, though, right? This is going to also be, it's going to be an okay option sometimes, right? So what we can do is, I like to updraft on top of this box straight away and just start like peeking out, because a lot of times this will be smoked. So you can do this and then you can dash like this, clear that, and then you're like at a crossroads, right? You can go straight towards site, or you can start pushing through this smoke here and trying to get a kill and just saying, hey guys, you guys take site, I'm going to get a random pick, right? So you can get a pick and then you can come back into your team, right? That's going to be nice too. I do like this. Just be aware of someone sitting here, right? So when you dash out here, just try and like, you know, you can check that, or you can just completely ignore it, depending on where the smoke is placed, to be honest. And then bang, right? Get our free kill, and then we can go back. Next thing you can do is just dash towards here, right? Like that. And then you can start going like this. Start trying to clear the site in this way. And then eventually you guys will all group up and just kill this guy, right? That's kind of the main ways to go about it. And then you can keep your updraft for a post plant in this spot, because this spot is very good at post plant. Very annoying to deal with, right? What you can do is sit here and you can see people above the smoke. Jett smoke's going to be a little bit smaller than regular smoke, so bear with me. But yeah, you can see above the smoke and then you can drop down. Can't get spammed. So that's pretty much going to be sunset as well. And that's going to be all the maps. We are finished with all the maps. So if you did like this video, hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah, let me know what else you want to see, because I have fun making this now. Like, there's quite a lot of maps, and the problem is the map pool changes quite often, so that's going to be annoying too. But that's going to be all the maps in the pool as of right now. If map pool changes, maybe I'll make some changes, but it's quite a long video. But yeah, like, sub, all that shit. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, and yeah, I'll see you later.